Hello, everyone, and I hope that you are all doing well and adjusting well into this online class. I just wanted to go ahead and make this video to explain a little bit more about your term papers for this microeconomic class. I mentioned, of course, about the paper in my welcome video. So if you didn't watch that one, please pause and go watch that video because I explained a lot also about all the policies and expectations in this class. And I tried actually to go over important deadlines and important things that you need to know. Here, I just wanted to explain a little bit more about three parts of the paper and important deadlines that you guys have for the paper. So basically, I'm giving you the option of choosing your own topic here. I know it's the beginning of the semester, so you probably don't have that many ideas about macroeconomic topics that I ask you to pick. So the best way actually to start is just going over the news, look at your textbook, check out the library. You will get lots and lots of information and ideas from these sources that I just named. And also remember that we also discussed about the differences between microeconomics and macroeconomics in our chapter 1. In microeconomics, we are focused on the economy in a more micro kind of scale. So we look into the economy of a specific market. We look into the economy of a specific city. We look into the economy of a certain businesses, right? So in microeconomics, we are not going to talk about the country's economy. So we are not going to talk about, let's say, unemployment rate for United States. We are not going to talk about inflation rates for United States. These are all macroeconomic topics, but you can make pretty much most of the macro topics. You can change them into micro. For instance, if you're interested in doing something regarding inflation rate, you can look into the inflation rate in the city of Houston, for instance, and see, let's say, how the inflation rate changed over time. What are the reasons behind fluctuations in inflation rate? Or just to give you some ideas, you can also compare, let's say, the inflation rate of Houston with, I don't know, Austin, or you can look into the inflation rate for state of Texas and compare it with, let's say, California or Florida. So these are just ideas that I'm giving you. That's one way to go, making a macroeconomic topic micro, right? Or you can just, as I mentioned here on the syllabus, you can also look into microeconomic problem that we have and explain that problem and come up with solution for that. That's another thing that you can do. Like consumer behavior is another microeconomic topic that we have. So you can look into the factors that are impacting consumer behavior and in like a specific, let's say, market or a specific industry, explain those factors and see how you can improve consumer behavior in that specific market. That's another way that you can conduct your paper. You can look into a specific market. Okay, let's say what's happening to the housing market in Houston. You can compare, let's say, housing market before COVID and after COVID. Again, I'm just giving you ideas here. I'm not asking you to do what I'm saying. I'm just trying to give you ideas and just to kind of make you start thinking about what you want to do for your project. Um, you can look into the economy of a specific, let's say, business. Okay. Let's say you like a small business in the area, in your area, wherever you live, and you want to do some sort of a research, compare that small business with another small business. You can do that. Or you can look into, let's say, Amazon. I'm just giving you Amazon because we're all familiar with Amazon. And look into profit, revenue, cost for Amazon, the marketing type or marketing strategies that Amazon have as a kind of successful monopoly, right? So that's another thing that you can do. So these are all just examples of microeconomic topics, okay? So it should not be necessarily a problem with the solution. It can be some existing microeconomic topic. It can be investigating a specific market, a specific industry, and so forth, okay? Um, if you have any doubt about your topic before even submitting your topic, you can email me your ideas, okay? If it's macroeconomic, we can narrow it down together, okay? So basically, our term paper has three parts. The first part is that you guys are going to give me your topic by September 22nd, okay? I need to approve your topic before you start writing your paper, okay? There is no right or wrong here for topics. As long as you give me your topic, you will get the 10 points for your topic. If your topic needs to basically, if you have to modify your topic, if you have to change your topic, I will let you know, okay? So there's no wrong or right here. I want you to, of course, give me a good topic so there won't be any back and forth email between us. But even if your topic is not micro, it's okay. As long as you submit your topic, you will get the 10 points, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Another deadline that you have, and I will explain how you should give me your different parts of your paper. You're not emailing me anything, okay? Another part of your topic is right here in week 8, okay? We're kind of halfway through the semester by week 8, so you have a very short kind of chapter to read that week. That's why I'm putting actually this assignment for week 8. So on in week 8, I want to get basically first part of your paper, okay, which is elaborating more on your research question. So you gave me your topic, right, in September, and then kind of a month after that, you are giving me a 1 page on basically explaining how you are going to do your research. Okay, you're giving me your research kind of proposal, explaining that, okay, this is my topic and this is how I'm going to conduct my research, okay? You are going to elaborate a little bit more on your research question because remember, for the topic, there is no word limit, nothing. You are just giving me your topic in, let's say, one statement. Okay, you're going to type it in the Word file, you're submitting your topic, you will hear back from me that, okay, your topic is great, I approve your topic, or you have to change your topic, so let's work together, but you will have a topic, okay, very soon. In week 8, I want you to elaborate more about your research question or the topic that you gave me. And then I want you to also write down your introduction and background information for your topic, okay? It would be basically 2 to 3 pages maximum. And by this time, I want you to start reading journals, economic news, economic articles that are scientifically basically approved. I don't want you to use YouTube as a source. I do not want you to use Wikipedia as your source. These are not scientific resources, okay? I want you to read economic papers. You can find them in the library, okay? If you want to use news, that's fine with me as long as that news is reliable, okay? I shared some stuff on D12. I'm gonna, when I'm done talking about the deadlines, I'm gonna switch to my D12 to show you where you can find, and I'm actually adding more stuff to that module for you to help you out with writing your paper. So for introduction and background part, I need basically up to 3 pages here, okay? Plus your sources. So 3 plus 1 page for your sources, okay? I need at least 5 sources. And remember, your term paper is MLA format. Again, I provided some information for you on how you should write MLA format again on D12. So when you are also submitting your week 8 assignment, it should be in MLA format, okay? This assignment has 30 points out of 100 for your term paper. So 10 points was your topic. 30 point is for elaborating on your research question as well as introduction and background on your topic. This part has 30 points. The deadline for this part of the project is October 20th. And then, I'm sorry, I apologize for that. That was my alarm. And then you are going to give me the finished product, your paper, by November 17th, which is a week before Thanksgiving. This part, your paper, has 60 points. Okay, so it's not like you're giving me the paper and then you're getting 100. It is out of 100. No, I'm trying to make the paper basically in 3 parts. So you're giving me the topic, you're giving me the intro, and basically that's that. The intro part is the start of writing your paper, because at that point I want you to have ideas that how you're going to write your paper, and then you are giving me the finished product by November 17th. Okay, so that's kind of also the rubric for the paper. Please read this part of the syllabus where I explained my expectations about how you should write the paper. There is a software on D12 which is called Turnitin. I can basically see how much of the paper was copied and pasted. If the Turnitin is bigger than 25%, you will automatically will get an F. So we are all in college. Cheating is not acceptable. We are trying to learn something here, and you are going to use this skill of writing later on when you get a job, okay? And I know that we all love ChatGPT, and also we use AI. I am okay with using AI. I use it for my classes, for my online classes, my face-to-face classes. We are just trying to make sure that we are not asking ChatGPT to write everything for us. Get ideas from ChatGPT, how to start the research, it's fine with me. But copy and pasting everything, it is not going to be helpful for you when you get a job. You might get an A in this class by cheating or using ChatGPT 100%. And again, remember, we have softwares that we can also use and check if you used AI for your paper or not. It is not available just to students, but we faculty, we do have that software to check. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that try to write it on your own, because this is a skill that you are building while you are in college that will help you when you get an actual job, full-time job in the future, okay? Please look at it this way, that you want to learn something, all right? So please read this part, and let me show you where you can also find the materials that I was talking about. So this is week 8. Again, I put a reminder here for you about the upcoming kind of deadline you have for your project. But if you scroll down, I'm under the content tab, by the way, as I mentioned in my welcome video. So your paper is due, again, as a reminder here, I put it for you, November 17th, which is a Monday. Remember, all the deadlines we have in our class they're all on Monday at 11:30 p.m. So I put an MLA kind of sample for you here. I again repeated the outlines for the paper. Remember, when you're giving me an MLA, you have a topic, you have your names, you have your name, course information, my name, and then you will have your intro, or background, which you are giving me for your week 8, and you can copy and paste the exact same thing. And of course, I will give you some feedback. You can also modify and edit your introduction. You will have the biggest part of your paper will be your analysis. That's where you are going to basically provide answer to the research question. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. Before you start writing an analysis, you are going to give me some literature review. By literature review is that you are going to read your resources, right? Those papers, those articles that you have, that you should have at least 5, but I'm pretty sure as you go along and do your research, you will find more than 5. But you should have at least 5 sources, scientific sources for your paper. So in the literature review part, let me open this one. In the literature review part, you are basically going to go back to the papers that you read, and then you are going to provide some sort of summary of those papers and analyze those papers. If possible, talk about how they're relevant to your basically topic. Okay. Then after literature review and talking about those, so this is called historic context, but this is the literature review, as I just mentioned. And then the biggest part of your paper, as I mentioned, would be your analysis. So for analysis, you are going to put, if you have any data, if you have any charts, any graphs, that's the part that all those things will go. So analysis would be the biggest part of your paper. You can break it down however you like it, okay? You can have other sections inside your analysis if you want. If you are using graphs, charts, make sure you're explaining them. I'm not asking you to come up with your own data, to come up with your own charts. You are using the sources that you have, the papers that you have, and you are referencing to them, right? So I'm not asking you to come up with your own data, own charts. No, you are borrowing information from those sources that you are using to build up your research, to build up your paper. But make sure that you are going to explain, just don't put a graph there and then continue your analysis. No, explain it, how it's relevant to your research, how it's relevant to your analysis. When you are done with your analysis, at the end, you have to have some sort of conclusion. Summarize everything, okay? You had a research question at the beginning. At the end, when you're writing your conclusion, wrap everything up and tell me basically what was the short answer to the research question that you had at the beginning of your paper in your introduction, okay? Wrap up everything, and then you are going in the very last page, you are going to put your sources. Your citation will go in the last page. And this is, again, the format for MLA. Okay, so everything should be MLA format. If you are using graphs, again, as I mentioned, make sure that, first of all, you are putting citation for those sources. Where did you get your graphs? As well as explain them. Okay. And I am planning also to add more stuff in here. I'm going to also put a sample paper for you for one of my classes, probably one of my students, with no name, of course, it would be anonymous, just to give you some ideas. Okay, so please check it out. Don't miss any deadline. Let me know if you have any question, and I hope that I provided enough information about the paper. Remember, the hardest part of the paper is finding a topic, and try to choose a topic that you like. If you don't like your topic, you will get bored when you are writing it. Okay, so try to find something exciting, something that you can relate to. Okay, I know that many students who took economics, they're business major, or something related to business. Of course, we do have students from engineering, from nursing, other also background, but if you're a business major, especially, even if you are not, just think about if you want to have your own business or not, right? Then you're thinking as a business person. And just try to see how you can use the topic in your advantage, how you can use it for your career, okay, for the job that you will have in the future. And again, try to make it exciting for yourself. I love reading papers. I love reading your topics also is another thing that I like to see how students think. But try to kind of choose a topic that you can relate to. Otherwise, you'll get bored. And when I read your paper, I can see that you were bored. But good luck with that. Let me know if you have any question, and take care.